Hello, it's September 4th, and only 4 days into the month, it's been pretty eventful. I have $1,940.97 to play with, so let's cover the things I've spent so far in these first 4 days. I need to assign 262.66 into transportation fees because my insurance is 182. I spent $25 in toll refills and I had to get my car re-inspected for registration renewal, which was 55.70. Bills comes from my month ahead fund as usual. Oh, I need to assign 220.12 into maintenance. So, long story short, this is something I haven't been wanting to complain about because I wanted to give the air quotes repairman time to fix it. But one thing I paid for was 100 for fridge removal. I wanted to fix my fridge, but the guy said, "Oh, it's such a bad repair. It's not worth it." Mind you, he hadn't even seen my fridge. And he said, "I sell used fridges. I repair them myself. You should just buy them from me at a discount at a good price." So I bought a new fridge at 600 and he said he would haul away my old fridge. Then he came to my house and he said, "Wow, you have such a nice, beautiful fridge. I could repair that for you for $300." And I'm like, "You said it wasn't repairable." And he said, "Oh, well, then you wouldn't have been my customer. But now that you did buy something from me, I'm willing to repair it." And I'm like, "No, just get it out of my house." And he's like, "No, let me come back and repair it. And you know what? You can sell it yourself off Facebook Marketplace, make your money back." And it's like he came with no tools. The fridge was too big for my door, which I told him, I was like, "This fridge will not fit through my door. You need to make sure you have whatever you need to get it through my door." And he didn't bring any tools. I had to help him load it in. I had to help him disassemble and reassemble it. And it was so stressful and crazy. It took 4 hours. And then he wouldn't even take my fridge. And then I was like, "I need my warranty and receipt before you leave." And he was like, "I'm so exhausted. I've been here for 4 hours already." And it's like, you wouldn't have been here so long if you would just come with your tools and come prepared. Um, anyway, I never heard from him again. And like the fridge I have does work. The used fridge for 600 does work, but I had to pay $100 to have someone basically break apart my old fridge and take it to the dump. So that was a little annoying. And then another issue that I may talk about more in my August wrap up is I had a major water leak towards the end of August. So a plumber came by like 10 hours late. He peeked around my attic a little bit. It's 7 p.m. at night. And then he was like, "You know what? It'll probably be easier to diagnose if I cut a giant hole in your ceiling." And I'm like, "If that's what you need to do to find and fix the problem, then fine." But then he opened it all up. He said he couldn't figure out where the problem was coming from. And he said he was going to try to charge me $89 per half hour if he wanted to keep searching for the issue. But he didn't want to. He was just like, "I think it's better if I leave and you just call an AC guy and see if he can figure out what's going on. But good luck to you." Like, literally, he left within 30, not even, he wasn't even at my house for 30 minutes. He came in, was in the attic for 2 minutes, cut a hole in my wall for 10 minutes. And then immediately left. And he charged me $90 for that. And my stepdad was so upset by that, he ended up paying for it. And the guy's manager had to come out and whatever. And so the more expensive thing is that because there's a giant hole in my ceiling, I now had to find a drywall person to be able to fix that. So I was left in a worse position than I was even in the first place. Anyway, I've spent $122.22 so far on the repair, which has actually been crazy affordable because the person who is fixing my drywall has really come in clutch and is only making me pay for materials, essentially, helping me for practically nothing. So hopefully it goes smoothly. And then another expense is that the screws on the inside of my doorknob fell out and then my entire door handle fell off. And I don't know where it went, if it was accidentally thrown away. Here's another thing about the plumber. I'm backtracking. He took my drywall with him. Like, I could have just let the drywall dry out after the leak and then put it back up there and matched it like a puzzle piece. But because he took it with him, I had to start from scratch buying 2x4s and all this other stuff. But anyway, that was frustrating. So that the drywall, and then I had to buy a replacement doorknob, and I have to get that like put in. And then also I've been dealing with fruit flies and gnats. I think probably because of the moisture in my pipes or in my walls or something. And like fruit flies or gnats or whatever they are, they live in drains. And guess what is exposed with the ceiling, with the hole in my ceiling? It's the drains. And so also my house has begun to smell like mildew, which I've never had that problem before. And I put clothes into the washer and dryer, they come out smelling awful like mildew. And I'm guessing it's connected to my pipes, which is connected to the leak somehow. I don't know. But now I'm also thinking I'm going to have to hire an exterminator. So just, I don't know. All I know is that actually, I shouldn't even assign it from Ready to Assign. I should assign it from my major repairs fund because that's what it's for. Just if you ever get tired of renting, know that the rent is the most you will ever pay in a month, but in a mortgage, it's the least you'll ever pay in a month. It's a lot. But anyway, on to more boring stuff. I've spent, let's see, 75.89 on food so far. And then what is exciting is I paid for comedy show tickets to see Eliza, or I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Eliza, for $50. I love live comedy. And then subscriptions, I need to put $2.99 what I've spent so far. Okay, so now that I am caught up, I can actually move on to budgeting, starting with basic expenses. 50, keeping it simple, 50 for fuel. And then fees, I still need to pay for the actual registration after the inspection, which I think less than 40 perhaps. Consumables, I have been buying Drops Zero Waste Laundry Detergent for years. I love them. It's easy to manage their subscriptions. I also buy my dishwasher pods from there. I bought some hand soap pods from there, which I didn't love as much. But anyway, 39 for laundry stuff. Durables. Oh, another thing that quit working in my house was my Ring doorbell camera. The doorbell doesn't work and the camera doesn't work. So I had someone look at it. They were not able to prepare it. So I'm just going to upgrade my camera, my Ring, and I'll do a payment plan, and it estimated 31.57 for 6 months. It's kind of expensive. It was 189.43 in total once that transaction goes through. I hope that nothing else in my place needs to be repaired, maintained. Like, it's totally turning me off this month. I was going to buy a dining room set, and now I feel like so like, ugh, about it because it just makes me remember that everything you own is just another thing that's going to eventually break. Or even if it doesn't, you're going to have to dust it. Even this morning, I had to move my dryer out of the way because a pipe or some sort of thing was not connected to the dryer in the way that it was supposed to be. And I had to clean out all the lint and run an air blower through it, a leaf blower through it to clear it out. Everything is just so much work. And they don't tell you this. They make homeownership seem so exciting. You know what homeownership is? It's constantly needing to change a filter somewhere in your house. It's like, what are all these filters doing in my house? And why am I responsible for all of them? Who put this many filters around? Like, you live in an apartment, you never think twice about filters. You live in a home, suddenly there's always a filter somewhere that needs to be cleaned. It's unbelievable how much work it is. But it's fine. It's totally fine. If I have to add anything more into maintenance, it'll come from major repairs. For groceries, I'm just gonna add another like 115 maybe to do meal kits and then spur of the moment grocery trips along the way. So after my meal kit, that only gives me about 60.09 to play around with, which is I think fine. I've been having some ongoing health stuff, and I have a high deductible plan, meaning I pay out of pocket. So they took my blood. I'm waiting for the lab to tell me how much it costs to run all those tests. And so my guess is by the end of the month, I will have spent 300, possibly 600 on health-related appointments. I could pull from my HSA to cover it, but I think it's better to let those investments grow and compound and just let go of the cash savings that I have and shrink that since it's losing value every day anyway, which it doesn't feel good, but I know that is the more financially sound decision. Well, so I'll likely have to move about 300 at this point from my medical care sinking fund. 25 for support as usual. Chip, this isn't really a medical thing, but sometimes I do take him to get his nails cut. That's like gonna be $20, I'm assuming. I just don't want to give him his own grooming category because he's a short-haired Chihuahua mix, and normally I take care of all his grooming. So I guess medical, it'll just have to live in that category. All right, for subscriptions, I pay for YouTube Premium now at $17.30 a month, which is a lot, but it's for the amount of time I spend on YouTube, it's worth it. Okay, lifestyle expenses, since my investing was already covered. So dining out, I owe a friend some lunch because they helped me with my fantasy football drafting at work. Hopefully I win, but I'm going to put 65 here because I doubt the lunch will cost more than that. Junk food can have another $12 because I know myself. For appearance, I'm going to get my legs waxed, and with tip, that's like a minimum of $86, if not creeping more closer to 90 to 100 because hair removal is really expensive. So if you know anyone that can place a hex on me so all my hair can just fall out on its own, that would be incredible. Just let me know. Hit me up with your local witch. See what she can do for me. It's one of my siblings' birthdays, so I'm going to put $20 here. Why is there a goal of 45? I know why, because it's also my mom's birthday. Right. Okay, so 45 actually. I'm surrounded by Virgos. I'm an Aquarius, and I don't really believe in astrology or know much about it. I just know that everyone in my life is either a Virgo or a Gemini. So that's just a weird coincidence. I'll probably have to add more money here later, potentially. Pull from miscellaneous, perhaps. So on top of the comedy show ticket, I'm also going to go to the movies because I love going to the movies, and it's like $15. And hobbies, I don't normally fund this, but I'm going to try a game called Baldur's Gate 3, I think is how it's said. 62 to 65, I think, is expensive for a PC game, but I have only heard good things about it. Miscellaneous will get 50. Technology, of course, there are always going to be things that I want, but if a really good deal comes along, I have a technology sinking fund, or I can just pull from miscellaneous, which is really just a category that I use to fund whatever else I feel like. Okay, that leaves me with 876.56, and that'll go back into my month ahead. Actually, let's just pay outright for the repairs that I've had to do and the maintenance. And then because I've been thinking that my month ahead, since I only really use it for future bills and not even the full months of expenses, because I think medical care is going to be at least 300, I'm going to put that there, and then I'll just put 356.44 into month ahead. And if I don't completely make that up, it's fine because I think this category is a little overfunded anyway. It could have $1,000 less dollars in it, really, and it could just be allocated elsewhere. But I'm not going to do anything that drastic at the moment. So this is how I anticipate my first half of September going, and hopefully I'll post shortly on how August actually went for me financially. I'm excited for September because it's finally been under 100 degrees and it even rained today, so I think that's a very good sign of a good fall coming. I hope you have a good first half of your month, or actually a good full month, really, if I don't see you again. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.